everybody, thank you so much for coming back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Iron Man 2. So I'm continuing my reviews of the Iron Man and MCU franchise as a whole. Iron Man 2 is next on the release list, and yeah, let's talk about it. So I'll go right out of the gate and go ahead and say that Iron Man 2 is definitely one of my least favorite MCU films. I think the most important thing to say after saying that is that I enjoy, if not love, and pretty much like every single MCU film. There isn't a single MCU film that I dislike or hate. I do have a fond love or enjoyment of every single one of them. I think every single MCU film, whether they're flawed or not, always leads into the bigger story. I don't really feel like I could have taken a piece out of any of the MCU films or take out an MCU film altogether without it kind of ruining what would come in the future of that film. So for me, Iron Man 2, it just feels a little bit more like a setup film compared to being its own, you know, sequel to Iron Man itself. It very much is its own sequel, but I do feel like a lot of it was set up for the future, but there are some really interesting things, so let's talk about it. So right out of the gate, I think the main thing to say, you got Robert Downey Jr. again. Like, he's fantastic in this role. This is the first time as well that Cheadle came in to play Rhodey, War Machine. Obviously, he was recast from the first film. And yeah, I really like Cheadle as Rhodey in this film. I really, you know, it took me a little bit because I mentioned in a review that I did for The Dark Knight that, you know, I kind of struggle with sometimes with continuity when there's a recast, you know, especially when it's a franchise that I'm really enjoying. But since it was so early on in the MCU and War Machine has just grown to be such an awesome character throughout all these films, going back now and rewatching the second film, I feel like I get a more heightened perspective on his portrayal of the character. And I really do enjoy Cheadle as an actor altogether. So in the movie, you know, for me, he's solid. I really enjoy his acting. Same with Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow. Mickey Rourke also plays Whiplash in this film, the villain. And yeah, I really enjoy him in this movie. I think that he's a really cool, just kind of like weird villain. I will say that they didn't develop his character enough, and I think that that kind of leans into some of the negativities that I have about this film. But I really do enjoy the screen time that he does have. He has imposing moments, but he really definitely is one of the lower tier MCU villains overall, just as far as the overall stakes and scale of him really being a villain. There's so much time where he's not really in front of Iron Man, so that there's really not time for him to develop as just being like, wow, this guy's a really, you know, big bad guy. He's just a bad guy that this film has, and Iron Man has to take care of him, and he does, you know. So that's kind of how I feel about this movie, where it's like there are predictable elements. There's some humor that doesn't work in this film for me, but overall I think the portrayals of these characters by these actors who still playing them today, they still kill it, and they killed it in this movie. And so the acting is fantastic, and I just really enjoy all the connective tissue this film has, really just setting up the future films. And that, you know, that could be a negative or a positive for some people. You know, there's definitely a lot of connective tissue. There's a lot of stuff in this film that really is setting up for future things, even just characters being introduced, like Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson. This is the first film where she was introduced. The one thing I don't like about her in this film is her hairstyle. I don't know if you guys remember what it looks like, but maybe it'll show up in one of the clips that I'll put up here. But yeah, she definitely didn't have the best hairstyle of, you know, compared to what she ends up having throughout the rest of the films. But, you know, this film just introduces new characters, introduces new concepts, and really set up for what the first Avengers film would end up being. And yeah, I really do enjoy this movie. I think it's got a lot of really awesome action, especially in the third act. There's some really epic action and a really cool action sequence that I've always really enjoyed visually and just tonally, and the performances that takes place on a racetrack. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. Really great moments, and I think that that's kind of what really makes this movie the strongest, is it has really great performances and really strong moments that, you know, though it may be on the lesser side for me as far as my MCU feelings, I think that it's just a really solid movie. I think that it definitely expands the whole MCU quite a bit. However, you know, again, when I saw it the first time back in the day, I was a little underwhelmed. There was a lot of things that overwhelmed me as far as the action and the visuals and just continuing to expand the MCU, and seeing and hearing references that, you know, would just, you felt like, oh my God, are they really gonna go in that direction? And they do eventually. So yeah, I think Iron Man 2 is a solid good time. Is it the best MCU film? No. Is it the best MCU sequel? No, not at all. I think that the Iron Man 1 is definitely better than this, and I think I like Iron Man 3 better than this as well. But you know, I think that that's always going to be kind of a preference thing. I know some people really don't like Iron Man 3, so I am very curious to hear what you have to say. So make sure you guys comment down below and let me know, what are your thoughts on Iron Man 2? What's your favorite Iron Man sequel or Iron Man film altogether? Or even better, what's your favorite film in the MCU that just stars Iron Man? You know, even if he's in there for a small period of time like he was in Spider-Man Homecoming. I am really curious what your favorite on-screen Iron Man performances or just, you know, overall film is, appearance, appearance, whatever you want to think of. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much again for voting for this on my Instagram story poll. If you did vote, if you're not voting, you can go down to the link in my description box to my Instagram, go follow me, and after I post new videos, I go and post a poll over there where I will, have 2 films up in the running for my next review, and Iron Man 2 won this one. So thank you again for all of you who voted. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well. If you guys aren't already watching my videos consistently, you can definitely join in on the fun. I'm having a lot of fun documenting my reviews and adding them to this channel. For those of you who have chosen to stick around for the ride, I really, really do appreciate it. So yeah, guys, Iron Man 2, I really enjoyed this movie. Is it the best MCU movie? No, I think it's definitely on the lower end. But like I said, I enjoy and love all of these films. So there's not a single one that I dislike or that I, don't enjoy at all. They're all a lot of fun. There's some great action in this film, great performances. If you love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man and these various characters that are around him, you will very much love this film. This film also has Sam Rockwell, and I think he plays a really, really awesome character in this film. Pretty funny. And I wish that his character would show up in the MCU again. He's not like some massive remembered character that a lot of people who just kind of casually watch the MCU remember. But if you know Sam Rockwell, he's a really great actor, and I think that if they were able to bring him into the MCU today, they'd be able to do some really awesome things with him. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching my review. This movie's a good time. Like I said, I do recommend it, especially if you were watching the MCU. Definitely, I know sometimes people tell people to cut certain films out. I think that's just, absolute heresy. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Join us, join the fun, join the videos. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this film and other movies that you want to see me review, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye!